Good morning, everyone. I am Subhash. I am a corporate trainer of machine learning and artificial intelligence. I am pursuing my PhD in machine learning, applied machine learning. Since last 7 years, I am working in artificial intelligence domain. Total, I have done almost 500 corporate training in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Since last 20 years, I am in a corporate training domain. So today I'm going to introduce a very small, very basic, but very useful machine learning algorithms. First of all, this algorithms is comes in mid part in machine learning. Machine learning is basically the extension of data science. Uh, During my training, the common question I have received from my participant is they usually ask what is AI, what is machine learning, what is data science. There are so many courses, many companies launch, they jump into this domain, start spreading multiple topics of machine learning, data science. But I didn't find any particular website or course which explain the relationship between all these. Few IITs in India and even abroad, they introduced this kind of courses and they covered almost everything. When I joined this profession, I thought that artificial intelligence is a new programming language. So I jumped into this domain, but soon I realized that machine learning and AI is not a new programming language, albeit it's a new domain of science like physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology. AI is a new stream. So it's not a technology, it's a new a part of science. To properly learn AI, one should be, if not expert level, at least intermediate level. He or she must be familiar with applied mathematics up to graduation level. So these are the prerequisite for AI and machine learning and data science, obviously. Along with this applied mathematics part, we need one programming language, preferably Python. But there are other language also coexist in AI and machine learning domain. Sorry for the background noise. So I'm going to demonstrate one machine learning algorithm which is very useful, and actually I'm applying this algorithm in my current project for COVID patient classification based on their body symptoms. So now we jump to the coding part. So here is my topic. I'm going to explain is supported vector machine. But before that, I revise a few things which is usually covered in the previous session. When we start learning machine learning and data science, we cannot directly jump to machine learning algorithms. We should start from the scratch, like data science. What is data? How we extract information from data? What is intelligence? Artificial intelligence comes later, but what is intelligence is the must part in the AI domain. We human being, we are by born intelligent. Even some intelligence is available in the animal also. Animals cannot eat anything. They classified things. Even if you trying to give anything to the animal, first they will identify the things, classified whether it is good or not for them. So some level of intelligence is available in the animal also. But human intelligence is better than animals. That's why we rule in the planet. So classification is the first kind of intelligence. We may mention that classification classify two things separately. It's a kind of intelligence. So now, what is artificial intelligence? Uh, the software building, we all know. We need a developer who is good in programming language, write a software. But software also doing lots of things. It makes life easier. But software cannot update himself. A software required a developer whenever a new situation occurred. A software programmer, a developer is required to upgrade the software version. But this is not the solution conveniently solve all the other problems. For example, driverless cars. It's very common things today. Driverless car is a project where a software developer cannot write a software which control a car, because when a car moving in the road, the situation, the objects come in front of the car, it is completely unpredictable. A developer, while writing the software, he cannot predict. So this is the situation where the thinker of AI, they start realizing that we need a software which automatically upgrade himself, recognize things, and take proper action based on the road scenario, the situation available in the road at that moment. So there is no pre-exist or pre-written software can fulfill this requirement. This is the area where AI start taking shape. So when a car moving, it required to identify so many things: the road, the object come in front of the car, the traffic symbols. So classification is required. Driverless car is a combination of multiple things, like computer vision. It required eyes, it required ears, it required intelligence to recognize the traffic symbols. So that is a very advanced part. Today we are going to perform a very small application of artificial intelligence. This is basically a combination of data science and machine learning. So we give some data to the computer, and training and testing. These two words is very frequently you may found in the machine learning and AI training. Training means we train our computer. We train our computer and tell between do's and don'ts, the difference between do's and don'ts, what to do, what not to do. If a particular situation occurred, what to do, and in a particular situation, what not to do. So do's and don'ts. This is called supervised machine learning. Like our parents, they used to tell us what to do, what not to do, do's and don'ts. If you do this, you will get this result, because they are already experience all such things. So all previous experience are called data. In the machine learning context, whatever we have learned so far, it's called data. So based on the past data, we create a mathematical model to predict the future or to classify things. So in the supported vector machine, it's a combination of linear regression and classification. I know this topic is a bit advanced, but because this project is my undergoing, so I pick up this project. But in a practical machine learning program, this topic comes at number 4. And I'm using very advanced library like TensorFlow. The library is behind the driverless car. So supported vector machine is basically classify things together, that these are the COVID patient, these are the non-COVID patient, and their difference, that their symptoms are separate by this much distance. And some patients are maybe COVID patient or maybe not. So they are fall in between. So supported vector machine is basically the classify things in a separate hyperplan. uh, you may receive this code. At this time, it is very difficult for any beginners to read out this code and find the meaning, because I mentioned that this is not a beginning point of machine learning. The outcomes will tell you uh, what the supported vector machine is basically doing. So this is basically a supported vector machine is actually doing. It classifies things uh, in a two separate or more than two parts. It shows the difference between data, the distance between data, and the data which cross the boundary. So for this application, I am using an iris data set, which is first encounter. If anybody start learning machine learning or data science, the first data set he will and the encounter he will find any example begin with iris data set. So iris data set is basically a flower. We human being we classified flower by their color, their dimension, their size, but machine for machine, everything is data. So based on the data, computer can classify the species, the classification of flower. This flower is type A, this flower is type B, this flower is type C. So this is the very basic overview of the supported vector machine. Uh, this is not the regular class. Now we come to the advanced part. What the future prospects of machine learning? Because this topic is basically performed by AI or machine learning professionals. For a beginner, it is very difficult to understand supported vector machine. So we are going to introduce a new things, which is the big picture of AI. You may notice in the board that handwriting detection. Handwriting detection for a beginner, when I was a beginner, I thought that this is not a very critical task. What is the task? How come? What is the big thing? If computer recognize any human handwriting, there is not very big things computer is doing, because we human being we can identify any human handwriting. But would you mind? It's a very difficult task for computer, because computer without artificial intelligence can identify only perfect letter, but human handwriting is somehow not the perfect. Every human being having a different signature of alphabets. It's not our eyes which actually recognizes the digit. It is our brain behind the eyes which interpret the handwriting into its associate word. You may notice that computer work only with data. So when a human handwriting occurred, it gives you the probability of the date of that human handwriting with the most probable digit. If you watch this particular area, that it returns the probability that this digit is 6, this digit is 7 or 1, 2, based on their probability. Every handwriting is an image internally. So this is the deep learning part. Mostly these kind of things, image processing and uh, computer vision. These are the advanced application of deep learning and computer vision. But basically, all the deep learning begin from the machine learning, and machine learning come from data science. In the second part, you can notice that's the inside view of a car, a driverless car, which initially recognized things, classified them, read out and find out the traffic symbols, the meaning of traffic symbols. It is classified things whether in front of the object is a car, it's a human being, or a pedestrian, that's zebra crossing. So based on this object, the computer need to be the driverless car need to be take proper action based on the object in front of the car. So objects are very frequently occurred. They pass through the car. So a lot of things a car need to be determined, like kind of object, distance of the object from the car, interpret the traffic symbol, traffic signal meanings. So this is the just the demonstrate of how driverless car is working behind the scene. But believe it, driverless car is a very big project. It required a lot of a big company, a lot of people, those who are expert in their domain. So if somebody wants to learn from this level, he should start. He cannot start directly jump into deep learning domain. If somebody tell us or marketing that deep learning, if they offer deep learning course for anyone, simply it's a foolish thing. AI domain is begin from the data science. So these are the today's session is introduction of artificial intelligence. It's neither machine learning nor deep learning. How AI is work and the different areas where AI can be applicable. So this is the beginning, or not even the beginning, data science. Some people may feel that uh, this much code is required to develop a small applications. What I observe, what I feel, when I draw this example after the final output, I watch that even to develop such a small things, I need to write multiple line of code. Initially, I feel that it's a very small task to classify things, and human brain can easily do that. Just take a scale and a pencil, you simply draw. But when I start reading about the human evolution, because it took 2 seconds to draw this line, but actually a human is took 5,000 years since human evolution. The human brains are updated, and that intelligence come in our DNA. So that's why at this moment I am taking only 2 seconds to classify this thing, but actually I took 5,000 years. I took approximately 5,000 years to classify these things. So when we start developing an AI enabled machine, we have to write everything from the scratch. So now I realize that what level of computational part happening in my brain. Earlier, I wasn't think in this manner that to classify, to categorize between dog and cat, what level of calculation is exactly happening in my mind. But when I write a simple program to classify these things together, I need to write a lot of code. So, but I start realizing that how God has made our brain, what complicated calculation is going in my mind, even when I am doing a very small things. After putting intelligence into the machine, a machine become unsurmountable things he can do, because we human beings we have a certain limitations a part of creativity. A machine can process billions of data in the fraction of second. So to begin this kind of application, first things we need data. So as I already told you that one programming language is required, preferably Python. Then we need data. In the artificial intelligence domain, data play the same role what experience play for our human brain. During my training, I used to ask many queries from the participant to the participants that what is intelligence. I am getting many different answers. That intelligence means take the rational decisions. Then definitely uh, I ask second question, what is rational? And many beginners, newbies, they respond that intelligence is taking the right decision, and rational is classified, distinguish two things. Then my next question is, how you classify two things? They told us that is obvious answer. That based on their past experience. Past we have done such and such things. We were not getting proper result. Now we understand that because of that action, I wasn't get the appropriate or desired outcomes. So now at this time, I am taking the different kind of actions because I want a different result. So when we keep doing these things frequently, we do some things, the result uh, comes not as desired, so we change our action. So this process is called training and testing. We keep putting new efforts, and whatever actions not lead us towards the appropriate outcomes, we change our action because we want appropriate result, appropriate output we want. So when we do some things and we are not getting the desired output, we change our action. Again, we see that we move away from the desired result, we change our action. So the change action is basically we learn from the output and input, the difference. We put some effort, we get result. If we what we are getting and what we want, the difference is called input and output difference. There are many technical terms are available. So after observing that output, we we human beings realize that because of this pattern of input, I am not getting the proper output. So I change my combination of input. So which action leads me towards the proper desired output? I I store that action pattern. That is called mathematical modeling. So after that, whenever I want that result, I put the same action because it is already recorded in my mind. But if I put this action, I will get this output. So to begin machine learning and data science, I told you that data in the AI is exactly play the same role and experience play for the human being. So first we need data. uh, there is lots of Python application is going on there. We need few information only. The iris is a data set which contain four features: the length and width of that flower. As I told you earlier that iris is basically a flower. There are four types of flower exist. Sorry, three types of flower exist based on four different dimensions: the dimension of petal and dimension of sepal. Sepal is basically the flower top part, and petal is basically the outer part of the flower. So based on these four feature is what the deciding factor. There are lots of complicated definitions are available in the internet that features are, it's a mathematical term, but in general features are input, the deciding factor, and the deciding part is the flower type. Based on its feature, the target is flower type. When a different dimensions occurred, a different flower is exist. Based on the length and width of the flower and based on the color, we human beings decide and find reach to the conclusion that this is this flower type. The same thing, exactly same thing is uh, uh, doing by the computer here based on the dimension. So here we take only two data, the second and third column, the petal length and petal width. There are two other parameters also available. So just for sake of convenience, we take only two data. So for to understand all these things, one should be come from the Python background. Python is very essential. So first we train our model. While training, I already explained the training part is we keep putting our action and observe the result. If we moving toward the perfect output, we keep doing such things. When we realize that output is not what we want, what we desired, we change our action. That is training part. Once training part has done, we need a classification boundary. We need to draw a line between two outputs so that we will find that this flower is different from this flower in this much uh, distance based on their features. I again, feature is a very common thing. we need to discuss in the machine learning the deciding factor, that because of which feature a rose is decided by human being, and because of which flower, which features, the color, the dimension of the flower, we can say then this flower is a lotus, this flower is a rose, because they have different characteristics, their color, their dimension, their shapes. So all are parameters. Sorry, all are features, and rose and lotus is the outcome, the category. So this is just a demo session for today. This is just the overview of machine learning, data science, how they are correlated. So what exactly is required for anyone, those who want to join this profession, AI machine learning developer? Today's session is just the introduction of AI. We have discussed so many things, but if somebody wants to learn proper AI, data science, and machine learning, because being an I am pursuing my PhD in machine learning, applied machine learning. We have start from data science. This is the proper way, but it's almost it took already 3 to 4 years have completed, and 2 more years required to complete my machine learning. That is applied part. Lots of things are included there. But in a short-term course, if somebody wants to cover AI in a short period, the course must be designed in such a manner where data science must be there before the machine learning comes. So thanks for today's demo session.